Attention viewer, you are watching the world's biggest monster truck diecast YouTube channel. This is Monster Jam OCD.
Hello Monster Jam fans, and welcome back to another Monster Jam OCD retro review video. Today we are taking a look at the last Hot Wheels Monster Jam truck that I have been missing from my collection in 1/64 scale diecast. And again, like I mentioned in my last review, which was truly the crown jewel of it all, the truck I've been chasing for years, which is the 2003 Inferno right here. This truck, I wanted to give its own separate video because there's no need to overshadow its presence, its rarity, and its obscurity in the Hot Wheels Monster Jam age, and that is the MBK Mattel Bangkok Thailand factory 1 million truck, one of, if not the rarest, somehow publicly available employee-produced trucks from the Hot Wheels Monster Jam era that we know of. Right now, there are 3 distinct employee trucks that we are aware of, in addition to the canceled 2003 prototype Inferno. This truck is not a prototype that we're going to look at today. It is actually a produced for employees only truck from 2002, unlike, like I've mentioned just a second ago, the canceled FEP Inferno that we saw in my previous review. But before we do that, it's time to take a trip down memory lane because there is a long lead up to this truck, not as long as Inferno was, but nonetheless still a lead up that is necessary to explain why this truck is so rare and prevalent as it is to this day, as it was back when we first discovered it. The other 2 trucks in that lineup, as I mentioned, there are 2 other employee trucks, are the Mattel Bangkok factory, or MBK for short, as I'll mention it from this point forward, birthday employee trucks designed for executives at the company at the Mattel Bangkok factory in Thailand, just for employees or their kids for their birthdays. There are 2 variations of it, the rarest being the big hub version, the most recently seen on eBay at least. I won't say less rare because, trust me, they are extremely rare, but more seen than the big hub is the small hub edition from 2004. During 2004, there was an interesting change that happened with the Hot Wheels Monster Jam contract, where they went from the small hubs, as we call them, to the big hubs, which we saw from 2004 until 2018 when the contract ended with Monster Jam. But the 2004 editions of these trucks are still, again, I wouldn't say equally rare because, again, this one is less seen than that sister truck small hub, but they are extremely difficult to find, and there are only a handful of collectors that we know of that have them, unless you pick them up from eBay in very, very years apart, rare moments where they're listed in Thailand. Obviously, people in Thailand still have them, and of the employee 3, these are the more common editions versus what we're going to review today. But here they are as I reviewed them before. We're just going to look at them real quick. They are unique pieces in themselves, these birthday trucks. Again, produced only for employees in Thailand, but did make their way out to the public eventually, and they are known as the birthday set. So I got these from Tanyan Rude. You may know him as one of the master collectors of all time. He has a lot of things in his collection, and I thank Tanyan again for the opportunity to own these in my own collection, and they have been in a display case ever since the last time I reviewed them and received them from him, and they will return to their display case after this review. They do not come out often, and this is a rare moment that they actually make an appearance outside of an acrylic display case. So here they are together, the 2 employee trucks. There are also very rare trucks in the public displayed era. It's impossible to lead a review like this without talking about the trio of Skidazoids released in Canada as a giveaway for purchasing a minimum, I believe, of $20 Canadian at the time at the West 49 skate shops in the Canadian malls. These were a promotional item, and getting all 3 is a very difficult task, if not one of the more nearing impossible tasks for collectors, especially in card, which I believe there are 2 known sets in card still, and maybe Tanyan has some in card as well. So I would say an estimated 3 to 4 full sets in card, and then many people have them scattered throughout the collecting community. Whether they have 1, 2, or all 3 is up to debate, and obviously their own collections as we see them posted over time. But these are rarely seen, but still seen to this day in Canadian thrift shops. So if you're in Canada, you may have a lucky day where you find 1 or 2 or maybe even all 3. likely in used and beat up condition, but nonetheless still a produced unit of Skatazoid at thrift shops throughout Canada. And I think recently someone did find a yellow or a blue one in a thrift shop. So they are still out there, but they are hard to find in mint condition. These are actually factory-produced units that were never released to the public from Brian Patton, who I traded and also somewhat sold my carded collection that I got from Kevin in Arizona a long time ago. These are extremely hard to come by in mint condition. I've reviewed these before as well. But that's kind of the starting tier of rarity. The ones that are most known are the Skatazoids because of their prevalence in the public view, because these were publicly available. Although not purchasable, they were publicly available to Canadians and made their way to the United States over time. The beginning of the employee tier would be with the birthday trucks. And then there are some other obscurities here. Of course, the Australian exclusive Farewell Tour Pink Medusa, which is a really limited number. We don't know the exact number that were produced in 2016, but it is an extremely rare piece here, the Farewell Tour specific pink edition of Medusa from Australia. She actually ran this design in Australia only. It was a tiny nameplate on the roof that was real and ran, I believe, one event weekend and then disappeared from the face of the earth. And then the die-cast edition, same thing. It was produced and then pulled, either pulled or just limited units produced before the silver edition was made. But this was a real truck and was a die-cast truck that is now one of the rarest of all times. Even in the modern age, we do see this happen sometimes, and that is one of them right there, the Farewell Tour Medusa. The Canadian exclusive, Canada gets 2 editions of exclusives. Canadian exclusive Exterminator, obviously from 2015, I believe. It was never released in the United States or anywhere else besides internationally. Canada being the #1 market for them, but I do believe they made their way into the European markets as well. But it is a very expensive and rare piece as it was never released again besides the international release, but never in the domestic United States release of Exterminator. Although it was planned to be, it never was. No reason as to why. And the blue roll cage full bore, the Edge Glow full bore that has a blue roll cage, another very rare piece. Most of them come from the United Kingdom, as you'll see them on there from time to time, but they're usually in pretty bad condition. So getting a mint condition one of the Edge Glow blue full bore is hard to come by, but it is one of the rarest pieces of all time for the Hot Wheels Monster Jam era. And most recently discovered, and still rare, but part of a weird history, is the Taxi 3 monster truck from the movie Taxi 3, which, funny enough, actually features Inferno in the movie. So seeing these two together for the first time is pretty cool because they are part of the same movie, in a sense. During the crushing scene of the monster truck through the city streets, there is actually video footage of Inferno in France, without the logo, but still the truck Inferno in France making an international debut in the movie. So it's cool to see these two together. And this is a Japan exclusive truck. It has the same small hubs as the main line, but has a unique chassis and body design that was never seen in Hot Wheels Monster Jam, but was still released during the Monster Jam tenure, so it is grandfathered in as a Monster Jam truck. So there are the rarest of all time. There are some other variations that are still super rare, but not worth mentioning to make this video any longer. So let's move forward into the point of today's review, getting these out of the way and putting them softly to the side, and hopefully they don't move anywhere. We have today the last truck I've been searching for years now, and the last exclusive that we know of from the employee era of Hot Wheels Monster Jam, which is the MBK 1 million truck. Now you can tell it's in a UV damaged box, but the truck itself is in mint condition. We are going to remove it from its original box today. For the first time in 23 years, this truck will be touched by human hands, which is insane to say, but it is inside this collector baseball case. And thank you again to Fran Rock, who I mentioned in my last video, sold me both of these trucks this week. And we're going to unbox the next truck of the 2 that he sold me, which is this MBK truck. Now, I am guilty. I actually went to open it. I didn't take it out of the box, but I tried to open it, and the box is so UV damaged from 23 years of various collectors owning it that it actually cracked. And I was never going to keep the box, so I'm not too bummed about it, but it is unfortunate that the plastic is so unstable from the years of being kept in, not from Fran, but other collectors, poor condition collecting. It was damaged over time, so it is very fragile. But it does allow me to open the back here and pull the truck out. So after 23 long years of being Obviously stored in not the greatest condition. Again, not from Fran specifically, but from other collectors before him that have owned this truck for over the 23 years of its existence. We're going to pull it out of the box here. Try not to damage the paint by doing so. There we go. And wow, this truck has a presence to it. This is an insane piece. And again, I didn't want to overshadow it in the Inferno review, so that's why I'm doing a separate one. But wow, this truck is gorgeous. It has a very nice, crazy design, unlike Inferno, where it was a basic design. This one definitely has its own flair to it, and whoever designed it definitely put some time and thought into it. Here is its original card here. As you can see, it says the MBK or Mattel Bangkok factory in Thailand team, the can-do team as they called themselves, with this rainbow half infinity loop shape here, June 2002. I was only 1 year old when this truck was made and produced, and it's insane to think over 23 years this truck has existed in mint condition, has never been touched outside of its box before or after it's been produced. So to give some backstory on this truck, unlike the birthday trucks, this was produced for the Can-Do team, who were producing Hot Wheels Monster Jam trucks at the factory at the time, celebrating the 1 millionth truck produced. So obviously, Monster Jam has produced millions upon millions of die-cast units over time, and in 2002, they celebrated the 1 millionth production, whatever that truck may have been. It could have been a Gravedigger, could have been an El Toro Loco, but they counted, and their count finally hit 1 million. And so they themselves decided to make a celebratory truck for the employees at the team of 1 million trucks produced. So as you can see, monster truck production of 1 million cars. Cars meaning Monster Jam diecast trucks at MBK, Mattel Bangkok factory in Thailand, June 2002. And in the background is a very hard to see, but it is there, render of this truck right there. And the other side's super UV damaged, but it would be a dirt track with tire treads. But the sun has definitely damaged this card over time. So this truck is called, or nicknamed, because it doesn't have an official name, by the community over the last 10 years or so that we've known of its existence. It is called the 1 million truck, or the MBK-1M, or MBK-1 million, whatever you choose to call it. Nonetheless, it is still the celebratory truck of the 1 millionth Monster Jam truck being produced at the Thailand factory in 2002. So the design has been subject to a lot of conjecture over time and opinion. Honestly, I think it was just a silly design they were trying to come up with to celebrate. So as you can see here, the logo says Monster Truck 1 million car, which is kind of contradictory in itself because it should be called the 1 million monster truck. But obviously, English isn't the number one language in Thailand, and they are producing this not with the intent to be released to English-speaking fans. So it is a little different on how we would pronounce it or how we would explain it. Monster Truck 1 million car is what they decided to settle with, which is still cool to have in English nonetheless. As you can see, it has a yellow truck sort of thing. No one really knows what that is, but it's like almost like a Vet King with eyes, teeth, a yellow body with monster trucks, tires, and chassis, crushing two cars here. And it's not actually a little horn or anything that people think this is. It's actually this swoop here, this almost flag design swoop going behind the car or truck here. It also has a fabulous, hold on, my phone's doing the zoom thing. There we go. It has a fabulous dark navy blue metallic paint color, which we'll get a good shot of in just a moment, but that's the background there. And you can see 1 million on the side, MBK. Let me see what that actually says there for the first time I can actually tell. MBK Graphics, Hot Wheels MBK Graphics with a black, white, and red design for the circular logo with the Hot Wheels logo there. The front grille has a factory-produced paint chip, unfortunately, where this red bar would continue along the grille. It did chip at some point during production. This is not due to people using it or having it in a collection. It's just over time. This chip probably was there when it was produced. Back in the day, they were decals that had air bubbles behind them. Oftentimes, and you would see these in normal production units, and unfortunately this is a victim of that, but that would be normally a full red grille there with like a teeth design, and you can see these swooping designs coming down in dark maroon to orange on the front here with the Monster Truck 1 million car decal again. On the roof here, we have the celebration of the Can-Do team, the same decal we saw on the card back. Right there, MBK June 2002 Can-Do team in rainbow half infinity swoops. Actually, it's a full infinity symbol if you look at it that way. Right there. And the same design on this side. A little bit of fender printing, a little yellow stripe, and then some more of that hood flare right there. And the tailgate is a blank design featuring that beautiful dark, almost ocean blue color with the metallic and clear coat there. And the roll cage is black with a metal brushed metal chassis and original rivet there. And then yellow small hub rims with black small hub tires. So there it is, the 1 million truck from MBK, employee only from 2002. 23 years this truck has traveled the earth and been in various collections, and now lands itself as the last Hot Wheels Monster Jam truck I will ever collect, ever buy, ever need. And that's quite a crazy statement. It, again, alongside the Inferno sentiment that I shared, this is 19 years of collecting finally coming to an end with this and Inferno alike. And to see the set here, the trio of employee Mattel trucks from the Hot Wheels Monster Jam era together for the first time on my channel, it's a fulfillment unlike any other. And I want to thank everyone who was a part of it, everyone who put their time and effort in trying to find these for me, in addition to myself doing it and selling them to me, and Tanny and trading me his birthday trucks. It's just a long string of perfect events that have led here today. There it is. Thank you to Fran again for selling me this truck. You are amazing. And to everyone who supported this channel and watched it for moments like these, thank you as well. I will see you guys next time. This is Ryan, our Monster Jam OCD, signing out.